everybody is flooding the houses. And everybody is everywhere. Yeah. It was a big project. There was a really big project among me and the countries that are trying to survive this whole thing in secret before it gets too horrifying and obvious. I think it's getting kind of horrifying and obvious in some directions, not all directions, but everybody in the country's hiding that could qualify to get into the houses was trying to get into the houses all night, yeah. They were trying every good hour where, like at midnight when it seemed like nobody would care, or they were trying to get into these houses everywhere. And see if they qualified for the safety zone of it all. And the extra power. When they get into the Frank Sinatra house and stuff, we tag them and rebuild them just like we would at the Island of Gods. And so when they're tagged and rebuilt, they're more safe, more controlled and watched over by gods that you know are good and ideal. So like it's just more of a spoiled brat type of situation. If they can get into the house, and the house only opens over worthiness. So you have to be worthy, or the house locks up really bad and you can't get in. So yeah, they were trying all night and trying not to bother anybody, but the neighbors have overdone security, and they're gonna notice that like endless amounts of people were trying to get into those houses. And sadly, some were worthy, some weren't. So it went how it went. But it's worth trying, and it's worth it to keep trying, because if they get into the houses have portals that go to the Island of Gods. The houses have doorways and portals that go to heavens, different places. And they can check out of here when it gets too scary, too much. And that's really helpful for a husband that's trying to help countries that are terrified, that know really what the United States and Dubai became. So it's really helpful. You know, the world is kept so stupid while they become so sickening in corners, and it really terrifies everybody. So the husbands can go into these houses that we strategically put everywhere, and they can have like way more drenching from the gods and angels to feel, you know, that power, that like they're sitting in some kind of fountain of youth for a while to come back and deal with all this nightmare stuff. But yeah, there's been people trying to get into the houses all night. There's been doctors just dumbfounded and overwhelmed, knowing what I was talking about before I even said it. So the doctors have already seen what I've been doing. So obviously my sleeping has already been attacking everybody for a while. Because when the doctors read my post, they were like, that's what the hell this shit is. I was like, oh, I've been doing that to comfort my death for a while, it sounds like. But see, like with gods, we want to go to court and make sure what we go after deserves what we're doing. And see, when you are just like doing weird things in your death to comfort your death, it's just attacking on overload to feel comfort within death. And you don't know for sure if it's perfectly, legally perfect. So gods don't do that predominantly. A loser enemy god would make their death like have a lot of afterthoughts that just abuse everybody else. With a good God, we want to kind of fix our death so we don't lash out, and we make sure that in a court of the gods, what we dictate or judge or decide is really honestly what should be. Thankfully, we had made that white throne judgment Xbox game thing so that the science and atmosphere and more would put people by choices all along where they belong. So thankfully, everybody's soul is connected to the science of the atmosphere and what they truly deserve overall throughout all the years of their existence. That should help with my death, wanting to do anything and everything to everything and anything, just have peace or rest. That's not possible anyway. But it should help.